good people, so it's up to us to make bad people do the right thing. And this is our job as an informed electorate.
Well, I say if God interested vote, He would give us candidates.
The key thing is what you're saying is action. There's several groups of us. Once a week now, we're showing up to the legislature.
Excellent.
In their offices, telling them where they need to go,
Where they need to go. You know what?
bills they need to pass.
This terrifies. This literally, you know, of course, I am a liberal Democrat, right? And I think the Tea Party is great, 9/12 is great. This is what we want. We want an informed electorate that's active. This is what we want in our country. This is our goal now, is to get out of our stupor, whatever it is we've been doing. And I know a lot of people have been working really hard. So I'm not, you know, chastising anyone. I'm just saying more of us need to get on. And whatever it is, however you identify, whoever you want to connect with, you know, you just want to get out there as an individual, aligned with other individuals, and make this happen.
It works.
Yes, it does.
In 2011, I made every commissioner's court during the period they were working the budget. I got in their face with arguments on why they couldn't raise taxes, and they still haven't raised taxes. So it works.
All right, thank you.
We've got about 2 more minutes, so let's ask questions, okay?
Hi, my name is Lori. I just moved to Bastrop actually last month. I'm from Michigan, and I, like you, have had some trouble with the school system. I used to be a teacher, and I meet tests in Michigan, standardized testing. I had the freedom to write my own lesson plans, but I still had trouble with the standards that I was asked to teach, so I can definitely relate on that. I agree with the fact that sustainability is not a bad word. It has just been incredibly convoluted in the greenwashing machine. And my question is how there are actual sustainability organizations out there that are doing a good thing, that are about you know, permaculture and rainwater harvesting and all the things that are actually sustainable, which is not using a lot of resources, which sounds like this smart growth thing would be doing. It's completely using, rebuilding the entire town. Doesn't seem very sustainable to me. So how do you tell the difference between a volunteer organization that's actually trying to do something for their local community, that's actually trying to implement positive strategies, because I do think that we are in a global climate crisis. I don't think that that's a lie. I definitely think that we have some issues with how we are using the planet. So how do you tell the difference?
I wanted to make a comment here, and that is that I think you posed a really good question, but one of the things that I think we need to be really careful of is we're actually protecting our intellectual sovereignty. Okay, we're protecting the mind of our children and our own minds, and they dominate the discussion by interjecting oversimplistic answers to really complex problems. And this is the kind of thing is that you get people under control by saying, well, you don't want the polar bears to lose their habitat now, do you? Well, you don't want the ice caps to all melt. Well, you don't want your children not to pass the STAR test now, do you? And when you hear questions that are really complex, and they're asking you for that head nod up and down, someone is using words to control a discussion. And they're using those words over and over to control the next action that you take. So, you know, I'm gonna pass this because actually you're the expert on this. But one of the things that you want to do is when you have something good that you want to accomplish, is look at the complexity of the problem and educate yourself so that the actions you're taking might be moving your world in the direction that you honestly, with authenticity, you want the world to go. If you don't do that, then someone else is leading you to take action in the way they want the world to go. And really, that's a big part of the reason why we're all sitting here.
Yeah, that was great. Very great. Yeah, it's a complicated thing, obviously, because there are many different elements of things. Why would you want to recycle your rainwater? Why, these are all great things. Hey, why would you do, xeriscapes, so that you're not using up a lot of water, etc. These are all wonderful, and of course, this is part of the green mask. There's a total ideology that goes with that. When you join a group, you need to look at that group. Who is on the board? Who are the funders? What is the background? If you're just you and your neighbors, that's cool, it's you and your neighbors. But then what else do? You decide on the zoning for your area. You decide on what gets developed. You decide on who can get something and who can't. And pretty soon, you're part of some larger web that is actually multinational and is global. It's a globalist web, and it uses this green face. So you have to really look beyond that. And I would say, do not join any group. Why do you need to?
Thank you.
I'm Jan Barstow. I want to add just a sentence to what you just told her. When you go to the national, to the local groups, those are the the planning commissions, the zoning, those are the shills. They're going to rope you in.
Oh yeah.
That's where the danger jumps in. Groups, I don't care what words you use. If they're local, you're looking out for your own good. Yeah, don't funnel into the system. All right, I have a question. I'm a political animal. I adore politics. It is stinky filthy. I don't want to mislead anybody. It's a dirty, 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 rotten game. But I like lobbying. I love lobbying. I know how to do it. I want to know who to go through because I usually work alone. And my thing is relationships with the receptionist. And I'll just say it out loud here because that's the way it works. If you win the receptionist on your side, you've got somebody who's got his ear 24 hours a day. So I call it guerrilla tactics, but there's other ways to do lobbying than just throwing information in their faces when they're selling you out behind the scenes. Because they'll nod and tell you anything, but they sell you out. They trade off votes. I know how the system works. So I haven't been involved in about 15 years. About 15 years ago, I had my big fights down there at the state capitol. But I'd like to get involved again. My angst is up. Who do I go through? Who do I go to through materials, and I'll pick them out.
I just want to say that I disagree with you on the fact that politics is just naturally dirty and underhanded. You have to understand, if everyone in this room, if all of us are together, we decide that we want a new road over here, and we all decide that, and then we argue over how to fund that road, okay? That's politics. It's been going on since year one, and it's going to continue. We are facing a worse situation than that, because the people today are under the control of this international monetary group, where people pushing Agenda 21, they're coming through the UN, they're coming through everywhere, they're pushing environmental issues, which is a concern. Everyone should be concerned with that. But they're using this to push their agendas, and the thing is, you have to look through all that. And today, in Washington, it's beyond politics, okay? This is criminality. They are violating the laws, violating the Constitution, violating international law. All right? Recently, there was an international convention held in Kuala Lumpur, and they found Bush and Cheney guilty of crimes against humanity, war crimes, okay? Now, we can all argue over that, except the point is, we set the precedent in Nuremberg in 1945-46. And we have violated everything that we said should be crimes against humanity.
That's right.
So we are guilty, okay? But hey, how come we're not discussing that? This is the 10th year anniversary of the invasion of Iraq. It's been 10 years. We have spent $800 billion. And what have we got to show for it?
I agree with you 100%. I like the political process. I'm the one that goes to sit on the committees. I put my hair up high, I'll put on a suit, and I just go as an independent. And my theory is you agree with them all the way until they agree with you. You know, I'm in there in the committees, and I get to know the groups, and I get to know who's there.
It's okay, you know what? Keep on monitoring and put yourself out there and speak out.
Well,
This is the thing
I went
to
to the
do.
C school. That's a biggie. I'm a certified teacher. I did all homeschooling. but I want to work with the C school because that's real important to me. So point and shoot, I'll go there. And on the Agenda 21, I was working on some of that stuff back in the 90s. I haven't done anything really since the 90s. It's just, but I would love to get involved again. I'm just itching
Well,
to
do
get out.
it. This is it. Do it. Now's the time. Get out there and get the information out.
Long break right now, kick me out. Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Donna Voti, and I am a member of the Stakeholder Plus Committee of the Sustainable Places Project in Lockhart. And they don't like me very much because I educate them. They block my emails. They mock me on Facebook. I don't care. And I'm here to ask you a question. I've been watching what they're doing in California with Michael Shaw and Deborah Goss. They are filing something called the misprision of treason.
Right.
Could you address that, please?
Yeah. Okay, misprision of treason. Now, of course, Michael and Heather are friends of mine. You know, we hang out. Okay, you guys, check it out. This is something to think about. Misprision of treason is actually a law, and it says that if you are aware of treason, if you're an elected official and you're aware of treason and you do nothing, you can be guilty. You're guilty of a misdemeanor. Now, Michael has been going around, and people around the country have been going around and filing, basically putting their elected officials on notice that if they are aware of treason, they are being, they're being complicit and they're guilty of misprision of treason. Now, my concern is that when they hear that it's a misdemeanor, they're like, oh, well, so what? Now, treason itself, there is no statute of limitations on treason. Now, people who are participating in this plan are guilty of treason. And this is what we need to notify them of. Now, you can file a notice of misprision of treason, and I suggest that you do it. I think it's a good thing to do. But I think it's also important to notify in a very calm way that you identify treason, read the statutes, and then say that if your elected officials are not going to follow the law, that they are not following the Constitution, they are guilty of treason, and when we win this, and we will be holding them accountable for treason. And this is a very serious charge, and we make it seriously, because this is what's happening in our nation.
Hello, my name is Donald. I'm a recovering politician. During my term as county commissioner here, we had the EPA come in and declare the Houston Code an endangered species. And we got in the whole issue with conservation easements and all that. I didn't really hear you address how the EPA uses its heavy hand in support of the Agenda 21. Would you talk about that briefly?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm trying to do a 3-hour speech in an hour and a half, so I really don't get enough time to really get into that. The EPA, the Endangered Species Act, has not saved one species. And the EPA there's something that they do, and this is, we're talking about public-private partnerships and the cycle of nonprofits, which are funded by corporations and influence government. What happens is a lot of nonprofits are suing. What they do is they bring a suit against the Environmental Protection Agency.